depend on one crop or one industry, like so many counties have to do.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Brown, as a historian, what is your opinion of what Mr. Stevenson's doing with this documentation taping for high school kids?
As a historian, of course, I'm always interested in any means of putting particularly local history before the eyes and into the ears of young people, or all people of all ages for that matter. And so often people in Kentucky know only the local history of their own particular area. I know I was that way when I came here. I still don't know where all these counties are, and I think the idea of visiting 120 different counties and taking pictures of their courthouse and getting some of the local history on tape and is an excellent idea, and I think you and Mr. Stevenson should be congratulated for.
Brooksville, the county seat of Bracken County. Bracken County population 7,583, area square miles 203, rank 100th. Bracken County is located in the 6th Congressional District.
Behind us we have the Bracken County Courthouse. County seat is Brooksville, Kentucky. To my right we have Mr. Tony Johnson, who is a resident here in town, also a history teacher. Correct? Okay, Tony, what can you tell us about the formation of Bracken County?
Bracken County was formed in 1787 and was developed out of parts of Campbell County and Mason County. And it was named after William Bracken, who arrived in the area in 1773. And he was a well-known Indian fighter and hunter of the area. And it's also named after a very popular fern that grows along the creek banks in this area.
Okay. The county seat, or the courthouse itself, this obviously isn't the original courthouse, but what can you tell us about this one and perhaps other ones?
The first courthouse was in Augusta, Kentucky, and it developed out of a land grant to Augusta by Captain Philip Buckner, and it existed in Augusta until 1839. 1839 was a period of time where it moved a couple times and ended up in a place called Woodward's Crossroad, which is now present-day Brooksville. And this is the second courthouse in Brooksville. The first courthouse, the original one, was condemned in 1913, and the new one was dedicated in 1915.
Could you share with us what you shared with me earlier about some things that took place here in the 1800s?
Well, Bracken County has a very little known history about wine production. In 1870, Bracken County was the leading county in the nation in wine production, and we produced over 30,000 gallons of wine annually, which accounted for over half of the production of wine in the entire United States. And also in 1867, white burley was brought into Bracken County, raised and marketed for the first time near Augusta, Kentucky. And this is the forerunner of the modern-day burley tobacco, which is very important to our state.
Do you know why wine production stopped?
Well, I was only speculation, but I believe a little bit better wine-producing areas developed, plus the fact that the German influence started to dwindle during that period of time.
Okay. What is the major industries in Bracken County?
Definitely farming, and you have F.A. Niter Company and Clopay in Augusta, but farming overall is the major industry.
Okay. Do you know what the population is of the county?
Roughly 7,000.
7,000. Okay. Something we're trying to do is promote tourism, and some counties have a lot to offer, some counties don't, and they want something in their area. What's the situation with Bracken?
Well, presently, Augusta, Kentucky has did a lot as far as restoring the row houses and many of the original homes in Augusta. And they do offer tours and a Heritage Day celebration in which people can come and tour the various houses in the area.
Tony, where do you teach?
I teach at Taylor. It's elementary school, junior high here in the county.
Okay. Tony, what do you think about Mr. Stevenson's project of taping all the courthouses for school education purposes?
I think it's a great idea. I know as a history teacher, there's been many times I would like to know a lot of the more important details about the counties and have a chance for the children of Kentucky to see the various county seats and courthouses. And I'm sure that there's not a history teacher in the state that will not find this beneficial.
Yes, I'm Tom Stevenson, a county extension agent for 4-H. Been here about 20 years.
Okay, what does an extension agent do?
As a 4-H extension agent, I work with the youth programs. We have about 400 active 4-Hers in clubs that meet regularly monthly, and 4-H has the philosophy of learning by doing and hands-on kinds of learning experience. And Bracken County is a rural county, predominantly agriculture, and so our 4-H youth program deals with subject matter relating to agriculture. We have an outstanding livestock program here. We're conditioning and grooming and fitting 54 steers and about 30 lambs and a dozen hogs or so for the Germantown Fair that comes up the first week in August.
Okay. This is my question. What does 4-H stand for? What are the 4-H's? Is that something symbolic?
Yes, 4-H started back in about 1914. Probably started here in Bracken County in the in the 20s, the 1920s. 4-H stands for head, hands, heart, and health. The 4-H's, and the colors are green and white, and the motto is learning by doing.
Okay, great. Thank you. Now, would you mind introducing yourself and tell us what your role here is in Bracken County?
My name is Dwayne Padgett, Judge Executive of Bracken County. My main job is administrator of the county, make out the budget. We have 2 court meetings each month, and I try to do the best I can for the county. It's a rural county, like Tom says. We don't have any industries much in the county. I have a couple in Augusta, and I try to put in my time the best I can to help Bracken County move forward.
Winchester, the county seat of Clark County. Clark County population, 29,046. Area square miles, 255. Rank, 82nd. Clark County is located in the 6th Congressional District.
Well, my name is Jack K. Hodgkin, and I have been president of the Clark County Historical Society.
Okay. What can you tell us about the county? When was the county formed?
Well, Clark County was one of the first counties formed the year Kentucky became a state. Became a state in 1792 in June, and latter part of the year in December, that's when Clark County became the 13th county.
Okay. How did it get the name Clark?
Well, General George Rogers Clark was a Revolutionary War hero, and also later in the Battle of 1812, he was very prominent in that, and of course we named it before the Battle of 1812, but it was named after George Rogers Clark.
Okay. What's the population in Winchester?
Well, we're getting close to around 20,000 right now. Winchester's grown since I've been here 50 years, around 10,000 when I was born, and maybe dropped down, and now it's back to up about 20,000.
Okay. Before I go on to some questions about industry, the courthouse itself, when was it built?
Well,
A ballpark figure.
Okay, there was, this is the original site of the first courthouse. John Baker is the one that owned this property here where Winchester stands, and he gave 66 acres right after the county was formed in '92. That following spring, Winchester was named after Winchester, Virginia, his hometown. He lived next door to George Washington there. But he gave the site for the courthouse and the 66 acres, and they built a log building and then maybe another brick structure or two. And this present building was built in around 1850s, and later was added on to, the back wing was added on to, remodeled in 1938. And here 4 or 5 years ago we put another section on this south side, which enlarged the courthouse to its present size.
What's the major industries in the county?
Well, we have several industries, I guess Rockwell International and the GTE Corporation, Bundy Tubing, Those are some of our Hart Schaefer Marks is here now. They've been here several years.
How is farming?
Well, farming, because of the tobacco business, has always been good here. Of course, the tobacco business was off this year, and but it's still hanging in there. That's the main crop, of course, tobacco.
Okay. Earlier, we were talking about activities and events going on in each county, and we're trying to help and promote tourism for each county. And you were saying talking earlier about a festival. You want to tell us about that?
Well, sure. We're real interested in tourism and then promoting the historical part that Clark County plays because of Daniel Boone built the fort right here on the edge of this county on the Kentucky River down there. And so we named our festival the Daniel Boone Pioneer Festival, which is held every Labor Day. And that's enlarged. The R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company have been donating money to that, and I've put on a concert each year for them. And this will be the 4th year that they've been involved. And the first few years we had Tom T. Hall, Boots Randolph, Porter Wagner, and we'll have another name star this year. There's balloon races, and it's a very good festival. It's one of the best festivals in the state, Kentucky, Labor Day. So we want people to come and visit us during that time. Oh yeah, we had, well, I mentioned Daniel Boone, of course, and George Rogers Clark because of the Fort Boonesboro, which was the start of the whole westward movement right here in this particular land we're on. Andrew Jackson came through here on his way to be inaugurated for president. He was supposed to have stopped down here and made a speech about where that old hotel was. And also Henry Clay was over here quite a bit. He was supposed to have made his first speech on that location by a stump, and his last speech was in the courthouse here, Henry Clay. And I found an old picture not too long ago after they built the railroad station, which has been torn down here a few years ago. We hated that, but Teddy Roosevelt, got a picture of him making a speech out in front of the train station just before he became president. Harry Truman was the last president to come through here in a railroad car. Oh, the most active project going on right now is the old Leeds Theater building up here, which they were closing up the theater, and so several of the people here in this community have the Council for the Arts, and they are raising money, and they've gotten $250,000 raised right now to buy the building and to redo it and make it a performing arts center. It'll be $1 million project. Looks like it's going over.
Lexington, the county seat of Fayette County. Fayette County population, 212,068. Area square miles, 285. Fayette County is located in the 6th Congressional District.